Hey gang, Schlocktoberfest 2017 has entered day 3 with a review of the movie I Was a Teenage Frankenstein. Professor, not Doctor, Frankenstein is at some place giving a lecture about, well, what else? Bring the dead back to life. And of course, some of the people there are not too crazy about his ideas, and they think he's a quack and everything like that. So he enlists Dr. Carlton to try to help him out, to try out his experiment that apparently has been going on in his family for generations. And as luck would have it, Professor Frankenstein winds up getting himself, well, somebody that was in a pretty fiery car crash. So, he winds up doing the experiments and bringing the poor kid back to life. And of course, he teaches the kid how to speak again and everything like that, and move his hands and lift weights and all this other stuff. And of course, the kid wants to go out into the world, but his head is all bandaged up because Frankenstein has not quite gotten him a new face. Oh, and if you were wondering what's the kid's name in this movie, it's Bob. I'm not making that up. It's actually Bob. I mean, he's known as the teenage monster, teenage Frankenstein. I don't think he was even called Teenage Frankenstein in this movie, but yeah, his name's supposed to be Bob in this one. Anyway, after one night of invading a girl's room, Professor Frankenstein decides it's time to give Bob a new face. So they go to some make-out place. Bob abducts a teenager whose face seems to fit him pretty well, and, well, everything seems to be going pretty doggone good. Bob's got a new face, he can go out in the world, and he's a happy, happy camper. Until Professor Frankenstein decides, you know what, let's ship Bob to England in different boxes. Of course, they were going to, kind of do him like a human puzzle and try to put him back together again, but yeah. But as you would guess, Bob is not happy about it, and he winds up putting Professor Frankenstein in with an alligator, and Carlton comes back with the police to try to reason with Bob, but of course it doesn't do any good, and Bob winds up electrocuting himself, and Carlton ends the movie by talking about how his face after the accident and all that, yeah. So why did this movie suck? Well, it's a 50s P movie, and apparently it was a sequel to I Was a Teenage Werewolf. So yeah, no Michael Landon in this one. I have to say this much though: the makeup effects for the monster was not bad, but it seemed a little bit far-fetched because you think of Frankenstein, you think of well, at least the monster. You think 7-foot tall dude, looks intimidating, flat head, bolts in his neck, the whole 9 yards. But they got this kid, I guess you could say, and and it's like he can pick up on language immediately and everything like that, and it just seemed a little far-fetched. It was kind of weird, and you kind of knew that at the end of it, the professor was going to get his. And the movie's pretty laughable too, I'll say that much. But the weirdest thing about this movie is, about the last 30 seconds of it, it goes to color. No idea why. Bob goes against the big electrical equipment and suddenly it's like poof color. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, why on earth did they do that? You can probably more than likely bet that any movie that came out in the 50s or anything like that started off with the words "I was a," it was probably going to be pretty bad. I mean, you got "I was a teenage werewolf," "I was a teenage Frankenstein," "I was a teenage creature from the Black Lagoon." You know, yeah, that one was pretty bad too. Poor guy never got to go to his prom. But there you guys have it, a review of "I Was a Teenage Frankenstein." If you've seen it, please let me know in the comments below what you think about it. And if you want to check it out, it's here on YouTube. It's only about 75 minutes, so yeah, you won't have a whole lot of time to lose watching it. And of course, if you like my videos, always feel free to subscribe. If you got a horror, sci-fi horror, comedy horror, or fantasy horror movie that was just really, really bad, that might not have had too many teenagers in it, send it my way and I will get on it ASAP. Thank you guys so very, very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Schlocktoberfest 2017 with episode I completely forgot, but hope you guys will check it out. Thanks for watching, everybody. God bless you all, and as always, stay strong and rock on.